Pace car is away, and we are about to get underway from Martinsville, Virginia for the second short track of the season. Mark Martin is already out to a lead once again, and he's going to be clear going into turn number one, but it's still side by side for everybody. Back here in the background, Jeff Burton, who's been strong so far early in this season, trying to use that inside lane to his advantage to get past Rusty Wallace. Actually might have put him in the wall a tiny bit right there, but still fighting hard on the outside is Rusty Wallace. And Gary, speaking of hard, Mark Martin's already out to the lead, and actually we're already under caution before we end the first lap. So first incident of the day happens pretty much right as they cross the start-finish line, 3 wide, and Marco Andretti just winds up getting hooked and turned by Mayfield, and he comes up the track, makes contact with Benson, who gets turned by the 11, but everybody is able to drive away from it and not have anybody crashing before they enter turn 1 and 2. Actually, Rusty Wallace is going to slap the outside wall right there off turn 2, and that's going to be a big issue for him and allow Jeff Gordon to get to his inside. And already Rusty Wallace is going to continue to lose spots very early in this race, and that's going to allow Jeff Gordon to get by him. We saw some 3 wide for a moment right here in the background, but these 3 all get it settled out.
I feel like we might have maybe the 99 of Burton a little bit off the pace here, because I mean, you can see Jay Martin's pulling away lengths upon lengths. 2.3 seconds the last time by they crossed the line again, and this time it's going to go up to what, 2.5 what it says. So we're seeing 2 to 3/10 of a second gains out of that 6 car every single lap. And I think Jeff Gordon might try to take a shot at Burton as well into turn 3, maybe going to stay just in behind.
Yeah, we also saw Rusty Wallace. He was able to get the pass done on Jeff Burton as well, so they catch lap traffic, and all of a sudden everybody's starting to make passes on Jeff Burton here. He's losing a bunch of spots, already now down to 4th place, might be down to 5th in a moment as Jeff Gordon looks to have a piece of Jeff Burton as well. Back from Martinsville, and we are under caution, and here's the reason why. It's Michael Waltrip who has some kind of mechanical issue and decides to just stop on the track, and they have to call a caution for him. They have to tow him, and it looks like Michael Waltrip's day is done. Jeff Gordon make a move on Kurt Busch side by side. Jeff Gordon with that preferred inside lane might be able to easily get this pass done on Kurt Busch, and we just saw Jeff Burton there for a moment. He's a guy who's lost a couple positions as well as they started catching lap cars. He went from 2nd, now he's down into 5th place, but Jeff Gordon, you saw right there, gets clear of Kurt Busch that time by up into 3rd place for Jeff Gordon, and that 24 car, Gary, has been on the move so far in stage number 1, but he is running out of time. He is really closing, and you can see he's almost there to the back bumper of Mark Martin. There's a lap car coming off the pit lane who might interfere with this a little bit. Luckily, no, he is actually going to take Rusty Wallace side by side, so guy coming out of the pit lane decides to shove his nose up the inside and get interfered with the lead, or with the battle for the lead, and that just lost Rusty a ton of time right there. 3/10. Mark Martin just extended doubled his lead because of that lap car, and Jerry Nadeau is still fighting to the inside of that 2 car. Rusty Wallace not letting him go at all. So maybe stage 2 it'll be for Rusty Wallace, but in stage 1 it is all Mark Martin. He leads every lap. He does win the stage and gets another stage win on the season. Rusty Wallace comes home in 2nd place. I'm sure that's an unfortunate finishing position for him when he had a chance to grab the win in the stage. A whole bunch of lap cars in front of him, and we had one between him and Rusty Wallace, but Rusty's already made quick work at that, and we just saw the 25 getting the wall right there, and that was Joe Nemechek, and luckily they all saved it. But what it has done is it allowed Rusty Wallace to get to the inside, Gary, and we might see our first lead change of the race. We do. Rusty Wallace, we were talking about how long it would take. It didn't even take a full lap, and Rusty Wallace easily to the inside of Mark Martin right there takes over the lead of this race, and now they got to navigate a ton of lap cars.
Up the inside, Martin going for the lead once again.
Yeah, you actually saw him. He was able to make that pass easily get done right there on Rusty Wallace, and we missed maybe what put Rusty up on the outside lane, but this time he's just going to do it voluntarily and almost let Jeff Gordon by. I don't know if maybe there's some issue that's happening suddenly to that 2 car or what, because he had a ton of speed and was able to just blow right around Mark Martin and was almost able to do it in stage 1, but here in stage 2, he got the lead and then pretty much gave it right back up, and now he's going to give up 3rd place to Jeff Gordon, or 2nd place, sorry, to Jeff Gordon, and fall back down to 3rd place. So Rusty Wallace, I'm not too sure if there's something going on with that car, Gary, or not, but he certainly now suddenly looks to not have any speed that he had just a moment ago. 2.5 laps to go for Martinsville, and we just saw Mark Martin go for a huge slide going into turn number 1. That allowed Rusty Wallace to get to his inside, and Gary just coming to 2 laps to go. This is the first time we've seen these 2 really fighting side by side for the lead, and Rusty Wallace is actually going to get the pass done with just 2 laps to go in stage number 2.
I mean, how about that there? Talking about peaking at the wrong time, being hard from Viagra, not hard enough because his car is not driving fast enough. It's Rusty Wallace leading the way. Coming to the final lap of this stage as they come through 1 and 2 for this final time down the Spanish straight. Oh my goodness, have you ever? Yes, I have. Oh my goodness, the 40's around, so we're going to get a caution regardless as we try to focus on the battle for the stage win. It's going to be Rusty Wallace, but Jay, interesting fashion, maybe some unexpected fashion to win the stage.
A lot of things taken off right there at the end of stage number 2.
Some sort of issue for you.
Well, there's smoke on the track, and I see some skid marks. I think I see the pace car out of the pit lane as well. I think we are under caution. We are under caution. You see the lights on for the safety vehicles right there. And that is going to give us once again a reset. I see the 31 of Robbie Gordon with a bunch of damage. That is a shame for him. 3 wide is the cause of our latest accident, and Robbie Gordon's just going to get turned down the front straightaway, and it's going to result in Tony Stewart getting turned and involved in it as well. The 19 of Jeremy Mayfield right there gets a pretty heavy hit. So does the 7 of Casey Atwood, and a lot of cars have heavy damage now. Martin actually not able to make the move. Jimmy Johnson's going to get in the wall in the background. You just saw him right there. I was thinking that Jimmy Johnson might, for the first time today, have the chance to show what speed he has, but right there off turn 2, got up into the outside wall and got pretty heavy contact, Gary. Now he's side by side with his teammate Jeff Gordon, who gets around him easily, and now Jimmy Johnson goes from having a chance to maybe run inside the top 5 to now just surviving to stay inside the top 10.
2 Kings of Martinsville right there. Talk about
we're under
surviving.
caution,
You're
actually.
trying to stay in the. Oh yeah, actually, yeah. It doesn't matter now because the caution flies again.
Coming off turn 4, Joe Nemechek slides up the track, gets the wall, and just gets turned by Michael Waltrip. He goes sliding down the track, and luckily gets hit, or doesn't get hit by anybody else. But that is why we're under caution once again. Gary, we saw Mark Martin earlier lose second place to Ricky Rudd, and this time around, looks like he has the advantage of the inside. Should get that pass made, and we're going to once again see this 2 car and the 6 car be battling it out for the lead.
Yeah, I mean, you know what, Mark Martin, maybe don't write him off. I thought we might have to write him off, but here he is, putting the fight back to the inside of Ricky Rudd here now. And, I mean, of course, if you're Rusty Wallace, I mean, you love what you see there, Jay.
Jeff Burton's going to make easy work of him. And, Gary, this 99 car, you were mentioning to look out for him. I think that he actually does have really good pace in this car. And, I mean, you're seeing he's able to walk past everybody pretty easily right now. And now he's not just got to go run down that 28 in the 6 car, and he'll be up in a second place and have some clean air to go and run down that 2 car if he has any kind of pace. And this is a group that also includes Jimmy Johnson. We were just talking about him a moment ago when he got in the outside wall. Now he's outside the top 10 and is the last car on the lead lap in this race. So Jimmy Johnson is down to 13th, and that's an unfortunate result for that 48 car who was having a really good run inside the top 10. Caution has come out, and while we were away as well, a lot of shuffling happened with the order. It's still Rusty Wallace leading this race, but now it's Ricky Rudd gotten up to second place, Jeff Burton into 3rd place, and Matt Kenseth into 4th, and Mark Martin has fallen way down the order, all the way down to 7th place. So down the front straightaway, Terry Labonte just decides to hook Bobby Hamilton. They go sliding into the wall and sliding down the front straightaway, but luckily nobody else gets involved. And for Bobby Hamilton, that's pretty heavy damage to that car, but luckily he's able to keep it going. It is pure chaos and confusion right now going on after this restart. There's a whole bunch of lap cars involved with all these lead lap cars, and right now it's Rusty Wallace up here leading the way out front with nobody behind him. It's 2.5 seconds almost back here to Matt Kenseth, who's in 2nd place. Kurt Busch now up into 3rd place. Dale Jr. looks like he's got a rocket ship, but unfortunately for him, he's caught a lap down, and he just actually tagged the 11 right there. Brett Bodine. 6 seconds is going to be way too much for 10 laps.
The steering wheel in his hands, left he turns. Rusty Wallace doing it better than anybody else on this fine afternoon. Michael Waltrip makes his 79th entrance into the pit lane here now. As you can see, Rusty just hoping that maybe a lap car doesn't hit the wall in the wrong spot to take him out, or he doesn't take himself out. And what?
What? There's a caution, yeah.
Bit of a dank
it's for
line.
Ward Burton.
Oh, baby, he nearly got wrecked, and the caution is going to fly. I would assume, right?
It is, yeah. The caution is out. The caution is out. Oh, it's Jimmy Johnson as well.
Jimmy Jam John Milan is having an accident.
I just noticed that the Rusty Wallace was taking a bit of a weird. Speaking of Rusty Wallace doing something weird, he just went in and cleaned out the 25 of Joe Nemechek.
This could spice things up.
Now that 2 car has a bunch of damage to the front end of that car, so that, I mean, we don't have a lot of time left here in Martinsville. We might get a restart with just a couple laps to go, but that is certainly not good for that 2 car potentially, but it all is going to depend on where everybody stacks up. Here is the reason for our latest caution. It's Ward Burton having a mechanical issue, and he decides to just pull up on track and stop right in the middle of it, and in the background you're going to see Joe Nemechek make some contact right there, but then here comes Jimmy Johnson, and he kind of does the same thing, just kind of rolls up on the scene and then stops down there on the bottom side of the track. He unfortunately winds up having to tow as well, so that is day ruined for Jimmy Johnson. Late race restart coming to 3 laps to go, and you know, normally, Gary, these are times where we talk about all the drama and all the excitement these late race restarts could have, but for Rusty Wallace, there's almost nothing that could go wrong for him here because he's got a huge gap all the way back here to 2nd place Matt Kenseth, who's dealing with his own lap traffic as well.
I mean, the only thing that's gonna end that 2 car's chances of winning is if it gets ranked by a lap car, which, I mean, you see right here. The opportunity is for sure there, but obviously not a lot of time in action.
Wow,
Jay,
that's
17.
Yeah, that's Matt Kenseth, and I was trying to get him, and I absolutely. I mean, what in the world has just happened to Rusty Wallace? He didn't get going on that restart.
Saw the damage he had
and clearly it's severely affecting him because Matt Kenseth just got easily around him. I noticed that when he was not able to when Rusty Wallace was not able to stay in front of lap cars, there was an issue, and that is white flag that time by for Matt Kenseth, who was just gonna steal this thing from Rusty Wallace. That is not the first time we've seen a race get stolen within a couple laps to go, and Matt Kenseth is going to do it this time from Rusty Wallace, who was dominated. But clearly, at that issue happened, Gary, when he hit the 25, and it damaged his car enough to where Matt Kenseth is going to steal this win and get his first win of the season and be locked into the playoffs.
What a choke. What an absolute choke by Rusty Wallace there under caution. He picked up damage by running into another car and threw his race away.
And Rusty Wallace, who for some reason of his own power runs into a car under caution, spins him out and ends his own day, winds up finishing still in second place, which is a good finish. But Gary, he dominated this race and winds up finishing second because he made a dumb mistake like that and was not able to continue, or did not have the pace anymore to win this race. I was saying there was nothing that could stop Rusty Wallace in this race. Well, the only thing that could stop Rusty Wallace was Rusty Wallace, because he did that to himself. But next week is Bristol Dirt. So that is going to once again be another short track and another interesting experiment. And then after that, we have Talladega. So we have two very unique tracks in a row. But if you guys enjoyed, leave a like. It helps a ton. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. And I will see you guys next week for Bristol Dirt. So have yourselves a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.